So let's talk about the history of artificial intelligence. Because, it's not the neat, straight line you might think it is. It's actually this wild, dramatic story. A cycle of massive ambition, spectacular failure, and a rebirth that is right now completely changing our world. Let's get into it.
Just let that sink in for a second. This one line really sets the stage for everything we're going to talk about. It frames this whole quest for AI as something fundamental. This isn't just about building better software. It's about the age-old ambition to create a mind, just like ours, but inside a machine.
With all the headlines and the hype flying around today, it's so easy to think that AI is some brand new thing that just appeared out of nowhere. But the truth? This idea is much, much older than you'd think. It goes back way before computers even existed.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Part 1, the ancient dream. Before there was silicon chips or lines of code, the dream of creating an artificial being was born in meth, in magic, and in the deepest parts of our imagination.
Seriously, this urge to create an artificial mind is not new at all. You can see it in the golems from Hebrew mythology, these incredible figures sculpted from clay and then magically brought to life. You see it in these wild legends of medieval popes building brazen, talking heads that could tell the future. Then it gets a little more mechanical with the amazing clockwork automata of the 18th century. And of course, there's the ultimate cautionary tale, Frankenstein's monster. The dream, the desire, it's always been there.
All right, let's fast forward a bit and see how that ancient dream finally turned into a real, actual scientific field. This brings us to part 2, the first boom, what we call the Age of Logic. This was an era of just pure, unfiltered optimism, where it really felt like anything was possible.
And man, things moved fast. In 1950, the legendary Alan Turing basically threw down the gauntlet, asking, "Can machines think?" And he came up with a test to find out. Then boom, just 6 years later, the field gets its official name, artificial intelligence. And by the 70s, researchers weren't just thinking about intelligence anymore. They were trying to bottle it. They built these things called expert systems, designed to literally capture the knowledge of a human expert, like a chemist or a doctor, and put it inside a computer program. The momentum was just incredible.
And the hype? Oh, the hype reached an absolute fever pitch. I mean, this quote just captures the almost arrogant confidence of the time. The pioneers of AI didn't just think they were building a new tool. No, they were convinced they were about to make every single other computer on the planet totally and completely obsolete.
Well, you know what happens when hype gets that big. The fall can be just as spectacular. And that's exactly what happened. After the first boom came the first devastating bust. Welcome to part 3, the Great AI Winter. This was a brutal period when all the funding dried up, labs were shut down, and the entire field of AI basically became a joke.
So what went so wrong? Well, there was this massive disconnect. The promise, the hype, was a machine that could literally run an entire business all by itself. But the reality? It was a market crash, a total backlash, fueled by promises that were never delivered, and customers who were just completely fed up. The tech just could not live up to the vision.
This quote from back then just captures the devastation perfectly. The first wave of AI companies burned through millions and millions of dollars, and the pioneers, the people who led this incredible charge, were left with absolutely nothing but the scars of failure. The dream was frozen solid.
For years, AI was basically a dirty word in research circles. But then, quietly, something started to shift. A second coming began. And this time, it wasn't about programming clever rules of logic. This was part 4, the second coming, the age of data. It was powered by an old idea that everyone had given up on, a perfect storm of new tech, and the one thing the first pioneers never had, just massive, unbelievable amounts of data.
The key to this whole revolution was a technology called deep learning. And what's funny is, that was really just a clever new name for an old, beaten-down idea, neural networks. But here was the crucial difference. Instead of having programmers try to write a rule for every single possible situation, these new systems taught themselves. They just found the patterns on their own by churning through enormous data sets. It was a completely different way of thinking.
And this whole revival was like a perfect storm. It happened because 4 key things all came together at the exact same time. 1, super fast computer chips called GPUs, which, crazily enough, were originally built for video games, gave us the raw horsepower we needed. 2, researchers took another look at those old neural net ideas. 3, the internet gave us a practically infinite library of text, images, and data for these systems to learn from. And 4, the big tech giants started pouring billions of dollars into the research.
And boy, did the money follow. How big was this new boom? Well, look at that number, $6 billion. That's how much venture capitalists pumped into AI startups in just 3 short years, from 2014 to 2017. To put that in perspective, back in that first boom, an investment of $6 million would have been considered astronomical. The scale had just completely, utterly changed.
Which brings us right up to today, to right now. This is part 5, the unwritten future. And if you keep all that history in mind, our current moment, with all its crazy excitement and deep anxieties, it starts to look very, very familiar.
I mean, just look at the headlines. The cycle is repeating itself, almost exactly. You have this incredible, world-changing hype and these huge promises. And right alongside it, you have these really deep, profound concerns about what this technology could actually do. We have absolutely been here before.
And this brings us to the central question of our time. The whole debate isn't, can we build it anymore? We know we can. The question is, can we control it? You have thousands of the world's top scientists and entrepreneurs signing this open letter that put it so plainly. The number one challenge is just making sure these incredibly powerful systems actually do what we want them to do.
And that leaves us with the final unwritten chapter. The technology is finally catching up to that ancient dream we started with. But after this long, turbulent history of trying to build a mind in our own image, the biggest question might not be about the machine at all. It might be about us. After all the booms and busts and rebirths, do we even really know what it is we want?